Good afternoon, Sean.
Good afternoon, Patrice. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. It is certainly a pleasure to be here. And in making this presentation, I kept thinking about a time where I was at the Mount Hope gas traffic lights, and a guy comes up to me and he was offering to sell some chocolates. And I bought one and I struck up a conversation with him, and he said, well, he is selling these chocolate to make enough money to go back to school to pass mathematics so he could get a job. I was driving at the time. I didn't have enough time to chat with him, but I'm glad for this opportunity here. So persons in that position or seeking hope or seeking to make a difference in their life could perhaps hear what I have learned in my interaction with the TVET structure in Trinidad and Tobago. So initially, I went through the traditional path of academics. I started off in Point Fortin RC, did well in Common Entrance, went to Napima College, did well there, went on to do electrical engineering. And at that point in time, during that time, I had no real understanding of what could be done apart from this path that I was already on, which is pure academics. I was very good at art. I was good at dancing. I actually used to chant, right? And that turned out, grew into me going to hip hop, into me representing Trinidad and Tobago for the World Hip Hop Championships, the group called Eclectic. But in my mind, it was never a long-term goal. It was always just, okay, a hobby. And I always viewed it as a hobby. And I focused on academics and so forth and turned out to be an electrical engineer. But during that time, I kept giving back to one of the dance groups, and every year I would dance once a year for them. And this year they asked me to dance on screen. So I was dancing on screen, and a dancer, female dancer, was dancing on stage, and we were interacting. And people liked it so much that they asked to do it a lot more next year. Now, doing it the next year with a phone and making these videos are just so thrilling. And people were saying, oh, that's a lot of cinematography, but where's the dance? But there was this professional there, and he said, Shem, you could teach people the techniques, but you have the art, you should really give it a try. So my sister-in-law, to be at the time, says, Shem, you know what? I'm gonna have some faith in you. You could do my wedding in 4 months. So I bought a camera and put on Instagram, willing to second shoot for anyone. And sure enough, someone saw it, asked me to shoot the very next weekend, shot that wedding with my wife, and ended up shooting about 4 weddings by the time her wedding came about. And from there, putting on that video socially in public, people kept asking and asking for more. And that's how Luvo Cinematography was born. And but if you look at my mindset, I think I approached it all in the wrong way, in that I really disregarded my hobbies, my talents, and my interests, and focused purely just on academics. So I would advise that young man to find what his talent, what his hobby, what his interests are, and build around there, because it is just so much more fulfilling that way. It reminds me of the parable where about his master who gives his servant 1 talent and 1 5 and 1 10. He buries the servant with 1 talent, buries it. And when the master comes back, he says, not such a good servant. And sometimes I wonder if that was me. God gave me all these talents and I buried it and did not bring it into fruition. And I fear that sometimes our school system might be guilty of that. And so many people have come out of it and uncertain about fulfilling their potential or their talent or their skills. Entrepreneurship is a key way, a real way, and perhaps the best way to fulfill that purpose if you feel that your skills and your talents are not being achieved. And that is what I have never, ever regretted, pushing into entrepreneurship to actually begin in that. So I wanted to, well, actually, while Young Leaders of the Americas Initiative, we got selected by the U.S. Department of State to go to America to represent, well, our countries or our businesses for, say, for 6 weeks, and it taught us a lot about entrepreneurship and paired us with like companies that will scale up. So we learned a lot from them. And this is one of the key processes that I brought back. It's called a lean canvas. And what a lean canvas is a short business plan. So a business plan could be a lot, but a lean canvas could be done in an hour or less. And it's an iterative process. So it's meant to be done over and over and over again. I think I'm on revision 6 or 7 because entrepreneurs are like trains. We build up momentum, keep going, and it should be shifted left to the right to more reach where we want to be as we learn more about what we are about ourselves and where we want to be. So the lean canvas, let's share my screen with you guys at home in the work. Brilliant, right? So on the far right, in the first segment, what you see is customer segments. So you need to know who your customer is, right? But in my instance, my customer was people interested in weddings. And that's because I started with my sister-in-law. And knowing what my customer looked like, I was able to say, okay, this is kind of people are looking like. So you shouldn't go for every single person on the market. There are many fields within cinematography, videography. You could do weddings, you could do commercial, corporate, you could do photography, head portraits. There's a lot, but don't do all of it. Otherwise, it just be spreading yourself too thin. You need to select what your customer looks like. Is it, what's the age group? Where do they go? What do they look like? So this is important and the very first step in selecting who your customers are. Now, early adopters, let me explain what that means. If you go into any room, what you'd see and ask anyone for what kind of phone they have, half of the persons would have a Samsung, another half may have an iPhone, but 1 or 2 people might have an HTC or Huawei. Now, if you wanted to sell phones, you can't sell to all those Samsung and iPhone persons. Imagine if I came out with Luvo phone. People just laugh and say, what's that? I'm not going, not a Samsung, I'm not cool. Only cool people have Samsungs and iPhones. So you need to know who your customers, who the early adopters, who be willing to spend money on your product and target all the efforts and energies to them. In my case, when I started off with the wedding videos, I was saying, wait, boy, why not everybody going to me? My quality is astounding, it's wonderful, but I'm just being left behind. Everyone goes with the popular, famous guys. And it was really that question that I only understood after seeing this process. And to learn that people, that's okay. And you are going to lose those customers, but you are going to build your very own clientele over time as people see other persons happy with your product. And they would say, if that person could do it, I could do it. So choose your customers and go with that. The very next step is, what problems does your customer have? And you have to be very, very thoughtful about this. So I could just say, well, people just want a video for their wedding, but it's a bit more than that. Persons could either want a documentary video where they just want to know everything is captured, or persons could want a wedding film. They could want any wedding film, or they could want a very high tier wedding film. So you have to know exactly what problem you are solving, because it's a totally different suite of tools you require to serve that need. And once you know that, then you can dive down in. In my instance, I personally like making wonderful wedding films, so I structured my business to serve customers with need for very, very wonderful wedding films. Next on our list are how are they currently solving their problems? What are their existing alternatives? For example, are they asking their friends to take a phone and capture their wedding films? Are they going by another competitor? What are they doing to currently achieve their problems, to solve their problems? And once you know that, you could go on to the very next step, which is find out what's your unique value proposition. How could you add something different? Given that they are happy or perhaps not happy, most likely, hopefully not happy, what can you and your talents and your skills and your specialness, right, add or contribute to that person? So, and this is, I want to add my 2 cents to this process. The very important lesson I've learned in entrepreneurship is asking the question, how could I add value to another person? I could walk into a room and knowing my skill and talent, which is being good with a photo, with a camera, could say, you there, you're a budding entrepreneur, but I've seen your Facebook profile and your headshot is not very good. You need a professional photo. I take very good professional photos. Take a look here, watch my stuff. Can I do this for you? And you are adding your skill, your talent, your ability to that person, right? So, well, I'm gonna tell you a little story. So at the Wildlife program, I went into a room, about 250 persons, and decided to sit at a table next to people who looked nothing like me. They didn't even speak or weren't even speaking my language. And at first I felt kind of bad because, it's an English program, they speak in Spanish, and I felt left out. I felt excluded. But almost at the end, this girl gives me a cup of mate. A cup of mate is like coffee, and it's very popular in South America, and they share it. So they all drink out from the same straw. I'm from Trinidad, you might be from Trinidad, and we know that ain't cool, right? But the fact that she offered it to me meant so much because it means that it meant that what I was telling myself, that whole story of exclusion was not true. And I felt so much more welcome. The girl next to her was a girl called Barry, and she was a fashion designer from Peru. And fashion designers are photographers' best friends. So I said, wow, it would be amazing if I could just come to Peru and shoot your stuff. Can you imagine? She said, yes, that would be wonderful to just imagine it. And 9 months later, she won a reverse exchange program, and she needed someone to shoot and create a video for her in Peru. And she calls me up and says, Shem, can you come to Peru and do this? Of course. And that was so fulfilling. That perhaps the best portfolio stuff in my career. Peru photos with Miss World Peru. And that made such an impact. And I learned so much in that with your little skill, your little talent, photography, the most common talent in the world, you could add value to anyone across the region. So photography is just an example. Another great simple talent, makeup. Makeup artists in the wedding industry are excellent, they do excellent. So the fact is, with any talent, any skill, you could add value to other persons. Right, so let's move on to the next process in our next step in our process, which is a solution. You need to define how are you going to make life easier for your intended customers. Right? Now, hopefully your solution is interesting, has to be unique, has to be good, has to work, right? And make sure it's very, very good. And very importantly, we have to focus on service as well as entrepreneurs, because once persons are very, very happy with your product, they are going to post about you, and you're going to see more customers coming in. So very important for that solution that you create must be unique, and service must be key. The very next step is channels. The question is, how do you get to your customers? So in my case, I would ask myself, I do weddings for persons around my age. Are they on Facebook, High Five, Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp? And you need to know, depending on your demographic of your customers, where they exist and where you could find them. And that's how you start finding your customers. The very next part of that, the very next step in our process here is revenue streams. So as a photographer, as a cinematographer, wedding videos, wedding photos, but even more than that, I can do engagement shoots, I can shoot portrait sessions, I can also print wedding albums. So from your core skill, you can start looking at multiple ways of bringing in income. And the very next first step is cost structure. Now, guys, cost structure is very, very, very important. And it's also a key point to add this question, which person I often get, which is how do you price? Now, there are three ways of pricing. You can either, one, look at the competitor and say, he's charging X. I'm going to charge X too. Or I'm better than him. I'm going to charge X plus $1. Right? Or you could say, I want to earn $100,000 per year, and I want to do 12 wedding videos for the year, and therefore I must charge this amount per month and charge this amount per wedding video to achieve your target. The last way, and very important way as well, is determining what your costs are. So starting off, it's kind of easy to bypass this and say, well, you know what, I'm just going to charge what I feel like. But then surely, very surely, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna cost for equipment, cost for your time, cost for employees, subcontracts, rent. It just all adds up, and it's going to cost you. So therefore, we must put all those things into consideration before we come up with our cost structure. The very next step in our process is key metrics. So what looks like success to you? Is it making $150,000 a year? Is it having this amount of clients? Is it having the best wedding video ever, winning programs or winning awards? So you need to define what is success, what it looks like. So, and that way you know, okay, I can make amends, do better, or do this. Okay? So very, very next part is unique unfair advantage. So what is unique or what is unfair about your business that you have built? Okay? And in my instance, it's me. I spend a lot of time building myself, right? I spend a lot of time upping my skills, such that when I do put these skills into use, it produces a very, very excellent product. So you have to also do the same. The best way to improve your product is to improve your skills or these skills within your organization. And therefore, it's going to give you that unfair advantage when here next to your competitors. So that, very quickly, guys, is the lean canvas. And this is an excellent way to keep in mind the direction of what your company is and what your company looks like. It's very important. You do this over and over. As I said, I am on revision 7 of my company, and it has been very, very enlightening and useful for me for going forward.